What have you seen from your guys? What have you seen? Conference opener about to go down inside of Arrows Arena tonight, where 2-0 Ashland, led by two-time All-Ohioan Luke Dembo, try to handle a tall, athletic Lexington squad who checks in at 1-0 on the season. It's live and free OCC action between a pair of top contenders, streaming right into the palm of your hands on smartphones, tablets, PCs, and TVs, and guess what? It's all on the way next.
Here we go now. Here we go now.
of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, it just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
I got 2 feet on the ground, head flying in the clouds. It's just the little things, all of the little things. Hands up in the sky, it's all gonna be alright. It's just the little things, all of the little things. Oh, 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 oh. Love little things, love little things.
Merry Christmas.
Two of the preseason frontrunners for the OCC Championship meet in Week 2 of the boys basketball season as unbeaten's Lexington and Ashland collide to tip off your weekend. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Janney pregame presented by financial advisor Richard Sturry. My name is Brian Skronsky. I'm joined tonight by the great Travis Berardi, and we got a quality OCC opener, my friends. Two of the top contenders, as mentioned, that think that they're going to be in the mix at the end of the season for the OCC crown, about to be going toe-to-toe here, Travis, and both of them bring a little something different to the equation.
Yeah, Lexington, they've gotten back to that defensive game. They completely dominated the Clear Fork Colts on Black Friday, 51-25. They were up 15-0 at the start, 19-4 after one Four State turnover. So, that Scott Hamilton defensive game is back at Lexington High School. And then on the other end, the Arrows high flying. They got that perimeter shooting. They got that big offensive game back, and that's why they're 2-0.
They certainly have the star power, both sides, with some players that figure to be in the conversation for first team or maybe player of the year in the OCC. Let's talk first about Lexington, though. What a job Scott Hamilton's done since he's taken over this program. Off to a nice start, of course, the big win that you mentioned at Clear Fork, where they shot the ball incredibly well, led by Mr. Eichler, who he began the game that night 7 of 7 from the floor.
Yeah, and it was just a great game by him. I think it was 16, 6 and 5, 16 points, 6 steals, 5 assists. He pretty much did it all. But yeah, the defensive game got Clear Fork out early. They were a young squad, first game out. Didn't help that they played a Lexington squad that, they went through those lumps last year, but they have a lot of experience and they brought pretty much everybody back. And when you have a coach like Scott Hamilton, 146 wins on his belt, it's pretty good to have him as your coach.
And speaking of Coach Hamilton, had an opportunity to talk to him just a couple of minutes ago about tonight's matchup. Here's what he had to say. What have you seen from your guys in practice and preparation?
Well, I think we've gotten better. I think we're as prepared as we could be in that week's time. But, Dembo specifically is a hard kid to prepare for. Returning player of the year in the OCC. The thing is that the guys are familiar with him, at least the guys I have on the roster, they're familiar with him. So we got a couple things we want to try to do to him. But, in anything that we do, if we put too much pressure on him, he's got a supporting cast. So we've got to make sure that we don't give guys open looks. And then they've got a nice big inside that's got a good motor and he won't quit. So hopefully at the end of the night we're in a position to get a win, but we got to do a lot of things right to be able to do that.
You guys obviously really like to pressure and get after people defensively. They've got the really nice backcourt. Do you expect that to be kind of the chess match throughout the night?
I do. I really do. I think, some of our strengths against them is going to be the inside play. So I think he's going to try to pressure my guards as much as he can so we can't get it to our bigs. And, of course, for him, we're going to have a rotation of guys coming off the bench, fresh legs, to stay in front of their guards in their dribble drive. So, transition points are going to be key if we can keep these guys, out of those transition points. But, hopefully we're ready, and we'll see. It's a fun game to play at the beginning of the season early on.
All right, good luck, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So Coach Hamilton knows that he's got his hands full tonight, dealing with an incredible backcourt. We'll talk a little bit more about Hammy's crew and what they are going to be bringing in terms of a star player. Right on the other side of the national anthem, as performed by the Ashland Arrows Marching Band. The Arrows Pep Band always does such a phenomenal job and having a phenomenal game in the season opener for Lexington. How about the play of Caden Eichler? We already mentioned a bit what he was able to do, but he's just such a versatile threat at both ends, Travis. He's got a high motor, and at 6'3", he poses a lot of problems on the perimeter with what he brings, his engagement defensively.
Yeah, it's just that length that he has. He's able to get in front of you and really cause problems, but then also he's disciplined enough to where he can strip the ball away from you without fouling, and that's why he's had 28 steals last year, and he's already knocked the steal total up in the first game of the season with 5 or 6 against Clearport.
He's going to have a little bit of a different test here tonight when against some young guards, all having their first taste of varsity experience in the season opener. Now they get the dynamic backcourt that the Arrows have, as we'll check out their team spotlight. 17-4 last season. We know what they were able to do in the OCC. Worcester, the only team that was able to handle them, and they've got their top 2 scorers back.
Yeah, they only lose Eli White. I say only lose. He was a big piece of that team, but you get back 2 top scorers. You get 2 OCC first-teamers, and Denbo and Strury, who, have Ashland hoping to have another successful season. They were 17-4 last year, sectional champions. They were runners-up, 10-2 in the OCC, so they still have high hopes this season as Coach Hess comes in season number 7.
Let's talk more about that dynamic duo. Dembo wears the utility belt. Story rocks the cape. These two are fantastic, great athletes. And what they bring to the floor, Travis, is they can spread you out, they can knock down the 3, and also they can get you off the dribble drive. Both of them incredibly versatile on the perimeter. And
they've already showed out. In their first 2 games, they scored 76 of the team's first 137 points. And when you get the defending OCC player of the game and Luke Dembo, you can pretty much do anything with this squad, especially when you have Stury also. These two, you can't double team one because the other's going to go off, and it showed in the first couple of games of the season for the Arrows. Stury only scored 8 in the first game, but Denbo went for 24. Denbo in their win against Sandusky, 21. Stury goes for 23. So you can contain one, but you got to contain both because the other will go off.
Very few teams have been able to contain both during this nice run that they've had the last couple of years as the starters being announced here. We'll go ahead and introduce you to the starting lineups as well, beginning with the visiting Minutemen. We talked about the great length that they're able to bring to the floor. Travis, they got the big guy in the middle, Baden Forbes, everyone's counting on to be in the conversation for OCC Player of the Year. Eichler, a standout at both ends. You really like what Young brings to the table, too. Moore, 6'3". He plays more of a post-up game, too. That's your starting lineup for the Minutemen. And for Ashland, we all know about the straws that mix the drink up around here. It is that dynamic backcourt, those two players who combine for right around 40 points per game on average a season ago. Off to great starts yet again. Luke Djurdjevic plays great for them in the middle as well. Really, it's a tale of big athletic guys on one side, a little bit smaller athletic guys on the other side for the Arrows.
Yeah, and then Djurdjevic also, he had a double-double against Sandusky. He has the ability to kind of fill in some of the offense that has left with Eli White graduating. So look out for him tonight as well with Denbo and Strury.
That's your Janny pregame wrapping up as we are ready for tip-off. They are stoked here at Arrows Arena. The student section jumping around. It's a whiteout. And Coach Hess talked to me before the game. We'll run that interview for you guys at halftime about what it means to have fans back in the stands in their opener at home. He was like, man, we had a decent crowd, but not a great crowd, and it was still overwhelming how powerful the voice of the audience was as Ashland turns it over here on their opening possession.
Actually, Lexington called timeout. They were trapped there. Ashland, we're talking about Lexington's defense. Ashland comes right out here and has a suffocating trap defense, forces Scott Hamilton to call a timeout only 16 seconds into this one.
So there's Hammy laying it out for his club about what's going to be the big challenges here tonight. And mostly you think about the offensive firepower that Ashland brings. They're pretty pesky on the perimeter too.
Yeah, they have length as well. They will come right at you. This is a good early season test for this Lexington squad. Only 4 wins last year, had a very good game against Clear Fork, but going up against a team that we think has a good possibility of winning the OCC. So a big night early on, opening night in the OCC to determine who's the front runner.
Mid-range J, pure knocked down here by Hudson Moore, but Sturry right back the other way. You just look at the track meet, the way that they're able to get up and down the floor for the Arrows, they match right back.
Speed kills. You know, you get the first bucket, get some momentum off of there, but you got to get back and play that quick defense because Ashland getting right into transition gets the bucket, and we're tied at 2.
Forup off the glass, rattles out. Rebound to Sturry, pushing in transition. Dembo gets a double team thrown at him. Now off the attack from the elbow, too strong. Rebound into the hands of Tyler Jackson.
Yeah, we're not seeing much ball holding early on here in the first minute and a half. They're going right at each other, not allowing the defenses to really settle down and set them up.
Hudson Moore gets inside yet again. The first 2 buckets of the night belong to him, and then Sturry, basically like deja vu, in about 2 seconds gets down to the other end. This time he'll have to earn it from the foul line. As you see on the Frito replay, there's the bucket, and how fast Dembo and Sturry get it down to the other end. It truly is impressive.
Yeah, and one way to beat a good defense, get out in front of them. They've pushed it twice. They've answered both times, the first time with the bucket, this time going to the line. And that's what this could be a track meet. You've seen Ashland already put up over 70 points in their first couple of games. Lexington, they try and slow you down. Is Lexington going to be able to stay up with Ashland's pace, or are they going to be able to slow things down?
All knotted up at 4, 90 seconds in. Minutemen with their first giveaway of the night. Miscommunication right there. Not even looking for the basketball was Tyler Jackson.
Yeah, just wasn't even looking at the ball. You got to look for the guard all the way down the side. Miscommunication, turnover.
Bates gets it to Dembo, working on the block, turns right into a double team, poked away, regains possession, whips it, and now into the corner. Nice up fake, Bates baseline. Look at the ball movement here by the Arrows, but credit the Minutemen defense for sitting down and not making him pay.
Great ball movement by Ashland, but even better for Lexington. Help side defense has been key. You're going after somebody, the help side slides over and takes away the pass, and that's what they did. They got the deflection out of bounds. They get possession right back.
Now here's Moore. Another good look, and that's going to find its way through. First 6 points all belonging to Hudson Moore for the Minutemen.
Really made that look easy. Went right in the lane. Nobody applied any pressure, and he was able to hit it. And then on the other end, Ashland, bad pass out of bounds.
Don't see that often from the OCC Player of the Year from just a season ago. Dembo got caught up in the air. McFrederick wasn't quite in the corner where he was expected to be, and it's back-to-back giveaways now for Ashland.
Yeah, Dembo was caught in between shooting that ball. He went up for the layup, saw two guys. He was underneath the bucket, didn't have a shot. Just kind of desperation throw out of the corner. It's turned over, but Lexington right back at you.
Read that one like an open magazine. Here's McFrederick in the open. Easy bunny, back to square.
Both teams feeling each other out early on. A lot of turnovers.
And this seems to be the mismatch as they're going to actually go inside here for Forup, using that big wingspan. Moore can't save it back in bounds. Nice hustle, though, and a stop for the Ashland defense.
Yeah, Forup got a little bit too far underneath the hoop there. Tried the up and under one-handed layup, couldn't get it to fall, and they couldn't get the rebound, knocks it out of bounds.
Jack Depperschmidt, who checked in off the bench, backing up here a little bit off of McFrederick. And now down the lane, high, arcing off the square. How about Kessler Bates?
Wow, just cut through the lane, had a couple guys on him, went up and under. And then a steal. And Ashland have another possession.
The lefty left alone from the corner, a little bit too much. Skying for the rebound goes Caden Eichler. And the loose ball foul.
That was pretty.
Going against Lexington, or Ashland, excuse me. Wondering maybe who would be that third guy that would step up and take over for White from a season ago, what he was able to bring. Looked like here early on, the athletic ability certainly number 12 possesses.
Yeah, Bates really, showing out here. There's a couple guys that can really help fill in for White. Bates, he had 11 points against Sandusky after a small showing against Norwalk in the opener, but the more guys that can contribute 5, 6, 7 points, that helps cancel out what they lost from Eli White a year ago.
Midway through the opening quarter, Moore off the attack. He has been the aggressor and getting to the bucket again. It's Hudson Moore 8, Ashland 8.
You could put two guys in front of him and he's still going to find a way to get to the hoop and put it up.
Dembo, what a sick crossover. McFrederick could not handle the pass, had a little bit too much sizzle on it. Good looking play there by Hudson Moore. I really like his versatility. He, at 6'3", can play with his back to the basket, and he's showcasing here tonight. He can also take you off of the dribble.
Yeah, it was decent defense there by Ashland. He was just able to weave his way around and get a good look.
Gage Potter just checked in, tumbles to his backside. Lots of pressure on him, forces a turnover.
Yeah, pretty sloppy play here, but I guess that goes with just how fast both teams are going right now. You're going to get some turnovers, but it'll also exchange into a lot of points.
First foul's going to go against Hudson Moore here.
Everything's going for Hudson Moore. He has all 8 points. He has the only foul right now for Lexington. He does it all.
Dembo gets it in. Sturry open look. Grayson Sturry, we saw what he was able to do the last couple of games. That's his 9th made three-pointer. He truly is a specialist from beyond the arc.
You just can't leave him that open because more often than not, it's going to go through the bottom of the net. One of the best sharpshooters in the area.
Could be the best. Off the attack, Eichler lost it right into the hands of Potter. Short corner, dribbles his way out of trouble. Dembo bumped him with the body. He's going to pick up his first personal of the night.
It's kind of a bit of a bailout, I think. Little contact, but I guess they could call it. I mean, you just can't leave him that open right there on that three on the replay here from Frito-Lay. He just came right off the screen. Nobody around him drained it.
Knocked down 6 triples in the team's last game against Sandusky. Team high 23 points for Sturry in that one. Here's Moore. He's been the mismatch. Surprised, actually, he's given it up, but just trying to run through the play. Double team on 4 up. 3 guys in the vicinity. Doesn't matter. Count the bucket. He's heading to the line for more.
He will not be denied. Look, there's 3 guys around him inside, and he's still able to fight through and get the hoop and the harm.
Baden Forup, great season last year. Averaged over 11 points, 60% from the floor, over 7 rebounds per game, and expecting a big uptick here in his junior season. That was just as a sophomore he put up those numbers, even though Lexington, their worst season since 1961-62.
Yeah, they had so many great seasons over the past few years. I mean, you had that Cinderella run to the state Final Four with the likes of Cade Stover and company. Got upset the next year by rival Ontario when they thought they could make it back. But, you know, multiple 15-plus win seasons, that deep 3 will not go down. But for Coach Hamilton, 16, 16, 14, 24, 17, 23, 18, 13, and then 4 last year. So, you know, 13-plus wins in every year that Scott Hamilton has been coach until last year.
And, of course, you got to give them a bit of a pass with all of the different COVID problems they ran into. Coach said that they played more games than they had practices, so never really found a rhythm for one another offensively. This kid's had a rhythm going all of the first quarter here. Jurjevic picks up his first personal, and Moore heading to the free throw stripe.
I don't know.
Felt like there was a little bit of a ball in between the arm there.
Let's take a look at that again. It's tough. I don't know if he got a little bit of the hand, but it looked like he was, I guess it's the motion of the block. His hand was coming towards him, and maybe they called it because of that swipe instead of going straight up. I don't know, but nonetheless, that's why we're up here and the refs are down there making the calls.
Moore with an opportunity to get into double digits already, just less than 6 minutes into the contest. The Ashland student section barking at him. Maybe had an impact. Eichler over the back call.
And a technical.
Looked like he was having some chatter back and forth with Dembo, who kept his composure. He was cool.
They're going to get him with 2 fouls. He's going to get called for the foul, and then he's also going to get called for the tee. It looked like a bit of a stare down. Let's see if we can get the replay up here after the play.
According to the official scoreboard, it's just going to go down as 1 foul for right now.
So there's the foul over the back, and then watch.
I tried to do a little bit of mouth reading the conversation between the head official and Scott Hamilton. I believe he said it was his demeanor after the whistle.
Yeah, it looked like he might have stared him down a little bit. I don't know if they said a couple words as well. Nonetheless, Ashland going to get 2 freebies and then the ball due to the foul.
Dembo a great, but 2 points.
But he's been picked up by Grayson Stewry, who has 7 already. And like I said, if one guy gets shut down, usually the other guy will pick you up. And that's been the case in the first two games and a quarter.
Skip pass, Stewry so quick. Left Depperschmidt just waiting in his sneaks. And now Moore with the rebound, and he'll initiate the offense.
This all guard lineup right now for Ashland. Lexington able to get a couple more of these rebounds down low with the height advantage.
Ball movement's going to end up in the hands of Depperschmidt. And now Moore going to try it from downtown. Won't hit it.
That's an over the back.
Hudson, Elijah Hudson, called for the foul. And it definitely felt like it was just out there for the taking.
He was off to the side, too. He wasn't behind the Ashland player. I don't know about that one.
Might have been the angle that the referee had over the side of Jack Swaysgood. So a bit of a tough call there against Ashland. 6 fouls already for him. And then Dembo knocks it down, looks over at the bench. Feeling himself right now.
Just a matter of time before he broke onto the scoring column. Big 3 there to give him the lead back.
Jack Depperschmidt thought about it.
Miscommunication. Hudson Moore was going to get the screen to have somebody else pop out. But Depperschmidt didn't read that, throws it out of bounds, and Ashland now with under a minute to go has a chance to extend this to at least 2 possessions.
This is the lineup for the Minutemen that I wanted to see defensively. How are they going to match up with Ashland? They got their 2 6'7" kids out on the floor with Elijah Hudson along with Baden Forup. They've also got the 6'3" Depperschmidt out there. So there's a lot of size, but can they keep up with the speed? Works out for them this possession.
And that's something that we saw early on. Lexington get a couple buckets, but Ashland immediately sped right back down and got a hoop to equalize things. And speaking of equalizers, there's a big 3 to tie it at 15.
Great touch for a big guy. Story, no answer at the other end. Minutemen got a 3-on-3, purple and gold down the lane.
What a
move! Great look in transition. Even better finish.
Wow, he just showed his dominance as he just sprinted through that lane. Nobody wanted to pick him up, and like a bulldozer, he takes it to the hole.
Down to 6 seconds. Double team comes at Dembo. He goes right at Lexington 1-on-5, and he wins that battle to square things up as we head into quarter number 2, all tied at 17 apiece.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, it just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
I got 2 feet on the ground, head flying in the clouds. It's just the little things, all of the little things. Hands up in the sky, it's all gonna be alright. It's just the little things, all of the little things. It's love little things, love little things.
Exciting first quarter of action here at Arrows Arena, and we're all tied up, Travis, 17 apiece. You look at the numbers for both of these teams, 7 of 10 from the floor for Lexington. They've really looked sharp when they have not turned over the basketball.
That's the big thing, yeah.
That's been a little bit of a problem for them with 4 giveaways, 3 right now for Ashland, and they've got the basketball here to open up the second quarter.
Yeah, turnovers early have been the mainstay of this game, but they calmed it down, and the scoring started to pick up.
The kick to the corner, 3-ball on the way. Kessler, Bates, drills it.
This was a team that hit 12 threes against Norwalk in their win. They are a team that anybody has the chance, if they're open beyond the arc, they will take that shot.
Depperschmidt hanging in midair. Djurjevic affected the shot just enough. Out in transition, McFrederick flying to the hole. He goes good for 2 off the square.
And there's that speed once again by Ashland, getting ahead of that defense from Lexington and getting the bucket. And another
biggest
steal.
lead of the night for the Arrows, creating chaos. Sturry takes the bump in the floater.
Called off. Are they going to get the bump or are they going to get the push off?
It's going to go against the defense. Personal going against A.J. Young, and it's the 7th already for Lex. Sturry's going to be on the free throw line. They'll be shooting free throws the rest of the way through the quarter. Still 7:06 to go.
Yeah, turnovers and fouls for Lexington have really thrown them out of sorts despite only being down 5.
The junior makes good on the first, expands a lead to half a dozen. Two for 2, full court pressure look. Just straight man-to-man here by Ashland. Now they switch to about a 1-2-1-1. And it leads to Young, dicing his way down the lane. Couldn't make the shot, and now free throws coming up. At least one for Luke Dembo.
You can't make that foul. I know you're frustrated right now, but Forup just with the bear hug underneath draws the foul, and Ashland going back to the line now for some more free throws.
Want to encourage everybody who's watching live and free right now on YouTube as well as Facebook. I do have Facebook pulled up. Get involved in the live chat. Let us know where you're watching from here tonight. Who are you cheering for when big plays happen? We want to hear your perspective on what you just saw as well.
So this is the first real time that Lexington has faced some adversity this early season. They really, from the start against Clear Fork, handled that game. Now Ashland coming out of this quarter break, applying the pressure, multiple turnovers by Lexington. They're missing a couple easy shots underneath. How are they going to respond here? Are they going to allow Ashland to really start pulling away here, or can they respond?
It all starts at the defensive end for the Minutemen. Didn't go so well here. Breaking you down off the dribble drive is Dembo. Luke Djurdjevic able to come through with the bucket.
Denbo back into the lineup. He took a bit of a break there towards the end of the first quarter, but immediately getting back on the board, and it's a 9-point game.
Minutemen looking to end this 11-0 run going down right now for Ashland. They'll have the ball underneath the hoop after the foul.
Take a look at Denbo.
And that's what he can do. He's one of the best assist men that we have in North Central Ohio. I would say the best in terms of vision, overall court awareness, 6.5 assists last year when he was second team All-Ohio as a sophomore. I believe he was right around 5'2", so this kid's been doing it for a long time. He's one of the hardest workers that we have, period, in all of North Central Ohio. He's just a real joy to watch.
And you need somebody like that as Lexington once again turns it over. They're just out of sorts right now, but you need a player like Denbo. You need somebody to complement him in Stewry if you want to compete at the D1 level, especially in the district that they have.
That's been the issue for them. You look at the senior class, 44 wins for them to 27 losses, but just 1-3 in the postseason, Travis. That win coming just last year before getting rocked out in the first round each of the first 2 seasons. They got to go up to Toledo and play in D1, but if you're offensive rebounding and getting it to guys like this, you're going to win a lot of games. And the run continues 13-0 right now for Ashland, and the Minutemen, they do look like they're a little bit flustered.
Yeah, Ashland doing everything right, Lexington doing everything wrong right now. But, you know, it only takes a bucket or two to get back into things.
See if Young can come up with something. He'll at least have some free throws. Actually, that's Tyler Jackson, excuse me, on the dribble drive.
Take a look at that effort on the other end here. Just nobody really collapsing. It's like the Red Seas, they parted for him. He took it right down Main Street for the bucket.
Like to see against a kid like Luke Dembo, give him a hard foul. Don't let him have an easy 2. Yeah, you're going to put him on the free throw line where he's fantastic, but, you know, if you can beat him up a little bit, make him feel that foul, I think it always it makes it more worth it, if you will.
Definitely. If looking up at the scoreboard right now, balanced on the side of Ashland, but for Lexington, only 2 guys have really gotten into the scoring column, and that's Moore and Forup.
That was their first point here in the second quarter as Baden flies way upstairs. Now Jack Depperschmidt brings it in between the circles. They'll initiate through Hudson Moore, who got off to such a hot start. Now he's back, couple of moves, puts it up, won't fall. Offensive rebound, and here's the shot from Depperschmidt.
Bucket.
They needed that one. Jack Depperschmidt came through.
Great job by Jackson to get that offensive rebound and set up the 3-point attempt. And Ashland now from beyond the arc, the last couple possessions have gone cold.
Minutemen starting to find their flow a little bit.
Only down 7 now. You get a bucket here. You're really back into that comfortable position for the Minutemen.
Mid-range Jay, a lot of contact from Stewry downstairs, checks him with the body, and free throws on the way for Jackson yet again.
Take a look at the last possession. Wide open, nailed it after the Jackson offensive rebound. Now Tyler going to the line with a chance to cut this to 2 possessions. Free throws have been a problem for the Minutemen as well here in this second quarter.
Give some love to that Ashland student section. They got a dog on a chain down there. It's a human dog. Takes your eye sometimes off the basket. You're wanting to know what's happening downstairs. Why is there a guy on all fours? Why is he on a leash? I think maybe he took a little peek. And he misses 3 out of his last 4, but he's got friends in low places. Moore blew it, though, on the putback. Going to stay down here, though, with the purple and gold.
I think McFrederick was a little thrown off by the dog, too, because he allowed Moore just to get good positioning and almost gave up the bucket. Thankfully for him, Moore missed the bunny. Lexington will try and reset here on the inbound pass.
Come way up top to Alex Depperschmidt.
You know, Brian, I like how the OCC set up this weekend. This opening night is as a foul before the shot, and Lexington's going to get more free throws. But we have another big OCC match live and free right here on the OH Report between Mansfield Senior and Worcester right now down at Pete Henry.
Get a score update on that one for you folks. It's the Tigers with less than a minute to go in the first half on top, 32-24 over the defending league champs.
Another offensive rebound putback.
The size of Elijah Hudson. Throughout the course of a night, if you got 2, 6, 7 guys, you're going to have a handful of opportunities like that where rebounds, you're able to go up the elevator a little bit higher to different floors than the rest of society. Paid off there. And now Dembo in a tough situation. I think he stepped out of bounds, and the Arrows give it away. Minutemen continue their hot streak.
I mean, basketball, it's a game of runs. It seemed like Ashland had all the momentum. Lexington gets a big three-pointer, gets that momentum back. Ashland can't hit shots, and now it's Lexington that's feeling all the confidence.
Another high trap. Minutemen able to dribble out of it this time. 2-man game here for Moore.
No backside help. Sorry, Brian.
Said it perfectly. Jack Depperschmidt, nobody boxing him out. Comes into your picture. 2 hands, catches it. Got the athletic ability to hang in midair, get the bucket.
Now Lexington only down 3, 28-25. This was an 11-point game. It seems like only a minute or 2 ago. Minutemen chipped away.
And oftentimes, you'll see a team when they start sitting down defensively and playing better, as the Minutemen are, things like this going to start open up. You're going to get some more confidence at the offensive end. And right now, the Minutemen enjoying the run of play as they've gotten right back into this, just a one-possession game.
And it's Ashland now on the scoring drought. This was 28-18, I believe, or 28-17. So they had the run of 11-0. Now it's Lexington right back. 8-0 run.
Quality ball movement. That one well short, though, from Camden Mowry. And here comes Alex. Jump stop in the lane. Won't fall this time for Moore.
Yeah, just a bit short on that. Denbo, despite the height advantage, was able to get the offensive rebound. Couldn't finish the second time, though.
Skip pass here. Now they come up top. And Forup tries a bit of a fall away. With such a size mismatch, I'm surprised Baden didn't try to back down the defender. Sturry unleashes one, and it falls through.
Big bucket for Stewry to get some of that momentum back. Kills off that 8-0 run by Lexington. It's a 6-point lead once again for the Arrows.
The junior with a dozen. Clean look inside. Baden Forup just too big.
I think he heard you, Brian. He backed down. One defender was able to catch that and get the bucket.
With Djurdjevic over on the bench, just such a mismatch inside right now with both 6'7" players on the floor. But this is where Ashland can kill you, is on the perimeter. Such great speed. They get after you with the pressure. And Sturry going back to the free throw line.
And I don't mind that foul because if he doesn't bump him there, I think that's a clear path to the bucket for a layup or maybe a kick out for 3. So I'd rather see them go try and attempt the 1-and-1 than a sure 2 points.
Eichler's going to check back in. Been sitting basically, well, he has the entire second quarter after picking up the personal and that technical foul. So Sturry extends the lead to 32-27. Potter takes a seat.
And the way Lexington was able to respond with him on the bench as well, that's got to be something that Coach Hamilton will be a bit proud of.
I think it's a really deep Minutemen team against Clear Fork. 10 guys really successfully played. I know that the athletic difference between Ashland and the Colts this year is pretty sizable, but I do think that they have at least 9-10 guys that are going to get into the rotation. Elijah Hudson, certainly this sophomore, is going to be one of them throughout the year.
Yeah, I think you said earlier, one of the biggest players in the OCC with this guy, Suri, and Denbo as well. But Moore, he might have a chance at getting that OCC Player of the Year, but he still has to dethrone Denbo and company.
Sets a screen here. Young to the corner. Back to him. Now Forup turns in the lane, finds a couple of bodies waiting for him. Bump on the arm's going to put him back at the charity stripe. I think that's going to be the 9th team foul against the Arrows. But it'll be a 2-shot foul.
This is the first. Hudson Moore will come back in.
Minutemen only shooting about 50% here in this opening half from the free throw line. Can make a big difference if you get cold there. Baden with his 8th point now of the opening half.
Got to think they'll hold for the last shot here. Up 6.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
I got 2 feet on the ground, head flying in the clouds. It's just the little things, all of the little things. Hands up in the sky, it's all gonna be alright. It's just the little things, all of the little things. And love the little things, love the little things.
Halftime here inside of Arrows Arena. Ashland on top 36-30, and the Jazz Band throwing down quite the performance here at the break, keeping us all entertained. And it was an entertaining first quarter, followed by a great second quarter by the Arrows. Brian Skronsky alongside Travis Berardi tonight as we go inside of your halftime stats presented by Janney and financial advisor Richard Sturry. Field goals completely even, but the three-pointers, the difference right now.
That free throw shooting as well. 5 threes to 2 in favor of the Arrows. The Arrows 7 of 9 from the charity stripe. Lexington only 4 of 10. They did get a big three there, the midway point of the second quarter, that helped get their run to come back into this game. It was an 11-point game at that point. They were able to get it down to, I believe, 3 points. And it's been back and forth from there. Fouls, 9 each. Turnovers, Lex with 8, Ashland with 4. A lot of turnovers early on, but both teams settled down a bit and have played, a little bit more clean basketball game with the 36-30 score.
9 points from Hudson Moore leads Lexington. Baden Ford put up 8, 7 for Elijah Hudson on the other side. Sturry has certainly been the hot hand. 1 of 5 in the lane, but 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. A perfect 6 for 6 at the stripe. He's got 17. 8 points for Luke Dembo. He's made 1 triple out of 3 tries. And then 4 points for Landon McFedrick. Been a fun first couple of quarters here, and I think we got what we signed up for. 2 teams that feel like they're going to be in the conversation for the OCC championship, that bring different styles to the equation. Both of them like to pressure the other team. Lexington does it differently than Ashland, who's got that great half-court trap, and they pretty much get up into your face and they try to trap everything on the perimeter, while the Minutemen, they just try to speed you up and then they run bodies at you. And we saw both teams have success at different times during that opening half.
And this game, Lexington could have this tied or even the lead if they were able to make some shots inside. They used their height to their advantage, got a couple big offensive rebounds, but just haven't been able to finish. And I don't know if that's just Ashland just getting in their heads a little bit down there, getting a couple extra, bumps. You get that bumping going on underneath.
Yeah,
but
make a big impact.
But maybe it is that youth as well. Lexington, a younger squad. Ashland, they've been here. They won 17 games last year, 10 games in the conference. So, it's quite the contrast at the moment, but Lexington really staying around. They were able to answer that big run, that 11-0 run by Ashland. You thought, okay, maybe, this is Lexington. They're not quite back to the place they want to be, but then they go on a run and cut it to 6 at the half.
Yeah, 19 points in that second quarter for Ashland to just 13 for the Minutemen, and a lot of that generated by the offense of the backcourt. That's something that I talked to Coach Hess about before the game. That and trying to go head-to-head with the size of the Minutemen and what they could do to try to combat it. Got Coach Hess joining me now, coming off of a great year last year. Big expectations again this season and off to a nice start, 2-0. What would you say has pleased you most from your team up to this point?
I thought offensively we've moved the ball fairly well. We're shooting the ball well from the perimeter, which is always a good sign, and that's kind of where our team is built with the strength of our guards that we got coming back.
Yeah, you got 2 excellent guards, of course. You should have the speed advantage tonight. Lexington's got some big boys, though, a couple of 6'7", a couple of 6'3". What's the strategy to try to combat some of that size?
Well, we're going to try to, pick up the pressure, full court, extend out a little bit defensively, try to speed them up a little bit. Hopefully, if we can get in an up-and-down game, we can neutralize their size a little bit.
And playing here on your home court, fans back in the stands, man, so expecting it to get rocking here tonight. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And you know what, Brian? You got to compliment the fans right now. I love the student sections back. We were at Mansfield Senior Pete Henry for the girls matchup between the Lady Tigers and Mount Vernon, and big student section by the TY Tigers. Not a lot of people were allowed to come out and watch high school basketball last year. We got the season back and rolling, and the gyms that I've been in have been packed. The student sections have been packed, and it just does so much for the game when you have people in the stands, when it's loud. I mean, even the JV game, the finish was great, and it was loud, and just a lot of enthusiasm in the gym tonight.
Especially from the students, and a lot of them really take pride in having an impact on the game, being that sixth man, being a distraction to the other team, but then also bolstering the confidence and the boldness of your team on their home floor where it does give you an advantage when you're playing in your friendly confines, where it's not just that you're used to every plank on the floor and that you know how the rims feel and just the environment overall. It's also when you have the fans that are there. They get loud when you score. When something goes wrong for the other team, they pester them. They make them feel even worse about it. So it is fantastic to have people back watching games live in person, and it makes it cooler for us, I think, to be a part of these games with so many people here. And being a part of our game tonight, helping you bring high school basketball live and free on the OH Report, our generous sponsors, including Frito-Lay, Good Fun, Mechanics Bank. There's always a better way to bank. Let's find yours at mymechanics.com. Tritico Sign Company, making signs of all kinds. Visit triticosigns.com to create yours today. Janney Montgomery Scott and financial advisor Richard Sturry and Sutton Bank. Get free checking that pays with Kasasa.
So, Brian, what are you looking for as we come out here in the second half? Is Ashland going to apply that pressure once again and try and get Lexington into that funk that we saw at the beginning of the second quarter? Or are we going to see Lexington answer and, the game plan of Scott Hamilton coming out of the break, changing things up a little bit to keep that away from them?
There's going to be a chess match throughout the night, specifically for the Lexington defense going against the stud backcourt of Ashland, and how you go about trying to defend them. Do you go ahead and put pressure on a guy like Luke Dembo that has one of the best handles and the most versatile that we probably have in the area? Or do you sit back, you've got the size advantage in the half court, and wait on him? I think that cat and mouse game for Coach Hamilton, if he plays it right, obviously it bodes well. Sometimes you get burned if you try to push up and pressure against some of these guards. That'll wrap up our Janney halftime as the third quarter underway here at Arrows Arena. It's the purple and gold with the basketball, nearly a giveaway to start things, and it ends up with a back-up jumper beyond the arc from Jackson and a rebound to Dembo.
So Ashland with a zone look to start, nearly got the turnover. Turns into an open look for Lexington, can't get the fall, and now Jurjevic will be at the line to shoot two.
Jackson, a nice job of getting back on defense after missing the triple try. Took the contact. That's got Jurjevic on the line. That's point number 3 for him, and make it 4.
At the half, Jurjevic only 1 rebound and 2 points after seeing that double-double performance against Sandusky earlier in the week. I get my days all messed up after that time between Thanksgiving and Christmas when everything just blends together.
More aggressive right into the defender. Rebound collected by Sturry. Keeps it in play. And off the kick, Arrow's going to keep it.
I honestly think that hit somebody's knee and deflected in, because it looked like it was going out on Ashland, and I think Denbo was able to knee it back in.
Such great balance on his jumper from the foul line. He has perfected that. The long two, the mid-range game, the lefty, so smooth.
So Ashland continuing its warm shooting from the end of the half. Extends the lead to 10.
Young getting hounded by Dembo, tipped right back to him, has to save it in play. Jurjevic wraps it up. Jump ball is the call as Forup got a piece of it, but it's going to stay with the kids in white.
So it looks like we can say that Ashland once again applying that pressure that we saw at the beginning of the second half. Lexington out of sorts once again.
And they are going to sit back right now, man-to-man in the half court. Off the bounce, another mid-range jumper from another lefty. This time misfired, though, from Bates.
So Lexington, they had the movement. Didn't allow any Ashland player to get open there. Forced the shot, but once again, Forup just can't finish.
Great shovel pass to get it to him. The recovery speed there from Tyler Jackson, one of the captains. Arrow's going to inbound in front of their own bench. Luke Dembo, a little bit too strong. Long rebound chased out, down by Bates. Now Sturry uncorks one, and he explodes it through the bottom.
5 guys weren't boxing 5 guys out by Lexington. Allowed the long offensive rebound. It turns into the open 3. Largest lead of the night for Ashland.
But they answer back at the other end. A.J. Young with a 3 ball. His first points here this evening. Camden Mowry swapping into the game for Bates.
That wasn't just a 3 by Sturry. That was a deep 3 by him. Nearly to the volleyball line.
His 4th 3 of the game. He's averaging 4 threes per contest so far through 3 games. Dembo, aggressive drive, bumped on the body. Believe it should be a shooting foul.
I believe you're right, Brian. Got an update from Pete Henry. Mansfield Senior 38, Worcester 31. Just under 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Those 2 teams, these 2 teams, I believe at least, going to be at the top of the OCC at the end of the year. We just don't know the order.
If I was a betting man, I'd certainly throw some coin on that. Those teams finishing 1 through 4. In the winner and the opener, you know, it's such a critical game just right here out of the chute, and specifically for the Tigers, it's their first game of the year. And oh, by the way, the Generals too. Both of those teams won some playoff games in football, starting their season a little bit later, a week behind some of the others. So both of them in action for the first time this season, as Young starting to get a little bit of confidence at the offensive end. He's got 5 now.
Lexington's going to need that output from them if they want to try and get back into this. You're going to need Forup as well underneath, not only to continue that presence, but he's going to have to score. What a big shot. Goodness.
And the Ashland faithful loving it, letting them know it. Sturry hanging in midair like a superhero. Took a little bit of contact, still able to have the soft touch off the window. Leads growing back out to a dozen.
We're almost to that point of the game where Lexington can't afford to continue to trade buckets back and forth with Ashland. 13-point game once again. Ashland once again with all the momentum.
Have not seen Lexington press out of a made shot here in this third quarter. See what they do off of a make if they get one here. Eichler short. Dembo just so swift with the basketball. Right down Main Street. Ooh. Too many big bodies there. I think Depperschmidt and Baden Forup both got a piece of this block. We'll give them a half each.
You take it through the tall trees, sometimes you're going to get blocked, Brian.
A lot of lanky guys on the floor right now for the Minutemen. Good look to the corner. Dembo just a little bit short, more with the rebound.
We've seen with some of these misses by Lexington, especially in the paint, leaving them short. It's like they're kind of second-guessing themselves as they're pulling up to take those shots.
Mid-range J.
That one, on the other hand, was a good shot.
Moore's been the best offensive player for the Minutemen tonight. Sturry has been that for Ashland. Won't connect on this one. Minutemen with a stop. They've got a 4-on-4, but quick hands
what
by
a pass.
Luke. Forup on the run down the lane. Trims the deficit down to single digits.
Thread the needle there to Forup, who finally gets one to fall inside. This is the run once again that Lexington needs.
Dembo cross court to the corner. McFrederick pulls the pin. Timeout taken by Coach Hess. Looked like Landon hit Jack Depperschmidt in the face. I thought the whistle was going to blow it dead for a technical foul. Official might have missed it. Could have been incidental, but nevertheless, a huge shot by Landon, opening things right back up here.
Yeah, right when you think Lexington's going to have some momentum back, just left them open on the other corner. The skip passes you'll see here in the free-to-lay replay. He drew the defense to him, saw the open man, kick, bucket, double-digit lead.
Luke Dembo, I believe, has 5 assists already in the game. And this is a guy, I think by the end of the season, he'll average at least 6 or 7. That's a very high number for the high school level, particularly when you score as many points as Luke does. Over 20 per contest last year, 23 per game.
Yeah, and he is the reigning, defending OCC Player of the Year, and you know he doesn't want to give that title up.
Definitely the favorite. Eichler, quick first step, able to get to the rim, got the great length, able to just lay it in over the front.
And that is how you break a press, kids. Quick passing, side to side, diagonally, you get the bucket.
What a great matchup we have with Caden Eichler trying to contain Luke Dembo. 6'3" is Caden. He's got the excellent wingspan. Luke, a little bit undersized. He's listed at 6'1". I don't think he's quite that tall, but shifty, definitely. He's got such a great feel with the basketball. And this is a kid, if you'll remember, at the end of his sophomore year, he was leading the team in scoring. He had a stress fracture, I want to say, in his foot, and forced him out of the lineup his last couple of games. He said just playing with too much pain. He elected to make the tough decision to sit out during the playoffs, and he grinded all off season. I remember last year, after girls' games, he would wait here in the gym. He'd come out, watch support, and then he would get in some shooting drills after them just to get some extra work in. So he's earned everything that he's gotten being the OCC Player of the Year, as Moore got lucky to get his own miss. 0 for 2. Depperschmidt, though, got his back. Third time's the charm for Lex.
Lid's just been on the hoop for Moore here recently, unable to get it in there, but thankfully Lexington, using their height on the offensive boards, finally gets one to fall.
Great move to get to the basket that time by Luke. Came up short with the shot attempt. Clean look from the corner. Jack back iron. Hudson tips it out, but Sturry on the run.
Oh, what a move.
Contact in the foul right in front of the Ashland student section.
And it kind of came right as he was releasing the ball as well.
But I think those are the good fouls that I was talking about. Make them feel it a little bit. These little guards, they're so quick and swift. They get by you. If you get a chance to put a little contact on them, don't let them just get the layup. I'm totally cool with that foul by Jack.
Completely agree. He was a 50-50 chance there. Make him earn it the hard way at the charity stripe.
Younger brother Alex into the mix now.
Two very good soccer players on the Lexington State Final Four team.
And a first-team All-Ohioan and Gage Potter on the floor as well. We saw this combination work very, very well off the bench for them in the Clearfork game. We'll see if they can bring a little bit of juice here. Hudson Moore controlling. Foul going against Kessler Bates on the floor here, right at midcourt.
That's something you have to look at, too, for Lexington. These soccer players had an extended season, went to the pretty much the last week of the year, so they haven't had as many practices as these non-soccer players, these non-football players. Well, football as well. You know, they came out after the first round, but we'll see if that has any effect on these soccer players.
Definitely have a good feel for one another on the floor. Gonna go inside now. Elijah Hudson using his height. He's got great footwork. The sky's the limit for this sophomore.
Yeah, he's able to get his defender on his back, feel where he was, set himself up, and make the bucket, as you'll see here. He sees where the defender is, makes his move, gets straight up at the bucket and hits it.
Arrows turned it over with a travel. So the Minutemen a chance to close the distance here, down by 9. Buck 36 remaining before we get to fourth quarter action. Big stretch coming up here for the Minutemen. Can they close the gap enough that when they're entering the fourth quarter, it doesn't seem overwhelming, like you really have to get a ton of stops in that fourth quarter and shoot lights out?
And it's going to have to go against this 1-3-1 three-quarter court press by the Ashland Arrows. And like I said, when they broke it the first time, you have to go diagonal, quick diagonal passes. Don't allow the trap to get set up.
Gage Potter in amongst the trees. Skies up for the offensive board. Good looking upper and under bucket. As close as the Minutemen have been in a while. Sturry.
Oh, my.
Answering back at the other end.
You were saying, Brian?
This dude's awesome, man. 27 points, leads all scorers by a bunch.
Such a pure shot he has, too, as they get the turnover, but give it right back.
Grayson Sturry lighting things up. Kind of quiet in the season opener. Didn't score a ton against Norwalk. 23 points in the last game, 6 3-pointers, following it up with another huge offensive explosion in the OCC opener tonight.
24 points is exactly what Coach Hess wants. Moore is bumped out of bounds.
He sold it pretty good. There was definitely some contact there from Mowry.
And you got the wall up there. Kind of looked like a hockey play, a little forecheck into the boards. But yeah, he could have. Maybe he tripped over his own shoe or something while he was going. But nonetheless, that's going to be the second foul of the half on Ashland.
5 for Lexington. Potter swarms. He cuts down the lane. Good look. And so smooth. The catch at its high point. Hudson kisses it off the window. And here comes the Minutemen D, trying to close the quarter strong. More offensive foul as he lost the basketball. Dembo stood his ground. Boom.
Now, I will say this, if this is the NBA, that was inside the restrictive arc. But we're not in the NBA. This is high school basketball. You get rewarded for standing in front of a bulldozer and taking it like that. Great job by Denbo, Luke Denbo, to give up the body to get the ball back.
And I think if you're a Minutemen fan, unfortunately for Hudson Moore, if he keeps the basketball and goes straight up, the contact doesn't look as furious as it does. He's looking down at the floor, trucks through Luke, gave up the body. So they won't close it down under 7, as it looks like Ashland going to try to hold for the final shot, and they are quarter closers, folks.
Jackson doing his best acting impersonation right there. Why not?
Now Dembo getting aggressive. Wow. Missed the shot, and after 3 quarters of play, we still got a game, folks. 56-49. We're headed to the fourth.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, it just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
I got 2 feet on the ground, head flying in the clouds. It's just the little things, all of the little things. Hands up in the sky, it's all gonna be alright. It's just the little things, all of the little things. Love the little things, love the little things.
Big end to the third quarter by the Lexington Minutemen. They put together an 8-0 run. Ashland, though, able to answer as we enter money time with the Arrows on top by 7, 56-49. I'm Brian, this is Travis, and we got a great OCC opener streaming live and free for you guys right now. Lexington has at least played themselves in a position where it doesn't seem overwhelming, and coming back in this game, definitely right in their grasp.
Yeah, once again to start the quarter, Lexington found themselves in a bit of a hole. The Ashland pressured just too much for them. A lot of turnovers, got it back down to a double-digit deficit, but they worked themselves back
And that's going to help a lot. Tyler Jackson buries the jumper in the opening seconds here. And Lexington gets a little bit closer. Dembo answering at the other end, spinning, willing Dillon. And he's getting closer to 20 points, 15 now.
Yeah, it was a great offensive move. Avoids the defender who tried to take the charge, gets to the hoop, gets the bucket. Back up to 6.
Baseline drive and kick out. Alex Depperschmidt left all alone. The junior doesn't do anything with it. And then Djurjevic with the big swat.
Wow, it looked like Hudson was going to go right back up for a chance. We take a look at it one more time. Boom! Perfectly timed. Now Ashland will come back and get a couple free throws.
Jackson called for the foul on the arm. He thought that he got a little piece of the basketball. Referee saw it differently. And Luke Dembo on the line, 6-point cushion. Chance to add to it. The senior, True, from the charity stripe.
Another update from Pete Henry. Start of the fourth quarter, 43-42, Mansfield senior with a 1-point lead.
Things tightening up over there in the other OCC game of the night. Everybody on the home side wanting that to be a goaltending call, and instead, Forup gets the block, races to the other end. Huge change of momentum right there.
Yeah, I think they have a reason to complain there. It looked like it hit the backboard before the block occurred, and instead it goes back the other way, and Lexington gets 2 points out of it.
Sturry to the corner, McFrederick, good up fake, launches short. Djurjevic doing some work inside. Air ball, but right into the hands of his buddy. Here's another 3 on the way. Bottoms up, Kessler. Bates.
Ashland has answered every one of Lexington's runs with a big 3, and you get another one by another member of this Ashland Arrows squad, this time Bates.
Throw it up top, Forup scales the wall, puts it through. 2 baskets in a row now for 32.
That's what they needed from him the whole game. He's finally getting a feel for things underneath, leading the team now with 14.
Dembo was able to split the D, lost the handle, lost his footing. Now Baden on the fly, 2-handed flush, won't fall for him. And now Ashland looking to capitalize at the other end, and they will. Depperschmidt gonna put Luke Dembo on the line.
He had it too, but just let go a little too early. Thankfully, Lexington was able to get back because it looked like Dembo was going to have an easy bucket. Once again, he'll have to get it the hard way.
What a huge miss. That 2-handed flush there, if it goes down, it's right in front of the Lexington student section. The Purple Haze been loud and proud all night long. And instead of 2 points for you, it's going to end up likely with 2 points here at the other end for Ashland. So they suffered a tough break with the non-goaltending call. And then, you know, sometimes karma, it just has a weird way of unraveling itself the way it should.
I'm going to bring this over from volleyball. Mackenzie Weaver, ball don't lie, my friend.
Amen. 2 for 2 on that trip for Dembo. So the backcourt combination of he and Sturry now with 45 points combined. Depperschmidt won't get the soft roll. Another soft shot misfired. Hudson. And the other Hudson with the offensive rebound, he got fouled. It's just going to be team foul number 4, though, against the Arrows, and it's on the floor.
Yeah, Ashland was just a bit out of sorts, gave up a couple offensive rebounds, went for the swipe to try and strip it away, called the foul, but like you said, only their 4th, so doesn't hurt them right now.
Nice look to the short corner. Hudson Moore was so hot in the opening frame. Certainly has cooled off since then. Mid-range J, and skying for the rebound, but Djurjevic back-to-back swats.
his third swat of the fourth quarter, and those two they've come at the perfect time for Ashland.
Eichler with fantastic defense. Coach Hess wants a TO. Look at the D, folks. Like a couple of flies came into the room, and Djurdjevic didn't want no part of them. Luke with a couple of big blocks.
Welcome to the block party at Ashland High School here.
Glad we were invited, man. This is fun, great environment out here. 8-point differential right now for Ashland. Feels like Lexington is hanging around and could be on the cusp of putting together back-to-back buckets. It's hard, though, against this Ashland team with so many veterans and great guard play. They really have answered the call every single time the Minutemen look like they're going to initiate a punch and then a counter punch. Ashland seems to block that counter punch and delivers one of their own.
And they deliver it in the form of the three-pointer. Suri had one. McFrederick had one. We just saw Bates with one. So not only is it the big two of Suri and Denbo, but then you have others that are contributing as well to help out.
Bates has a couple of three-pointers tonight. Full timeout taken now by Ashland. Gives me an opportunity to thank tonight's high school basketball live and free sponsors, each of them very generous, so we would appreciate if you would support them because they support our coverage of high school sports, including Frito-Lay. Good fun. Mechanics Bank. There's always a better way to bank. Let's find yours at mymechanics.com. Tritico Sign Company, making signs of all kinds. Visit triticosigns.com to create yours. Janney Montgomery Scott and financial advisor Richard Story. And Sutton Bank. Get free checking that pays with Kasasa.
Kasasa. So Lexington here in the timeout. Down by 8. Needing a couple more stops. They're getting the buckets now, but they're allowing Ashland to immediately answer. They got to go on a run here. Time becoming an issue for them with 4:44 left.
Student section getting rowdy down at the far end for Ashland. Trying to continue their impact on the game here tonight. Their team's got the basketball. Officials actually coming over and warning some of the fans to not come off the chain, keep it under control.
I wouldn't want to be in the middle of that student section right now. I feel bad for these refs, but the whiteout showing out tonight here at Ashland.
What a great pass. Djurdjevic, though, with the offensive foul, lowered the head, went right into the body. So we're headed the other way.
Kind of moved that forearm into the body, and that's what they're going to call the foul on. That'll be his third.
And the junior captain Moore standing his ground. He's got the inbound. Ashland waiting for Young at midcourt. It's going to be Dembo picking him up. Now here comes the double team. Someone's got to be open. Good looking ball movement. Eichler with the pass inside, rimmed out. Second time. Works out for Elijah Hudson.
Lexington constantly getting good ball movement, just unable to finish. That time they were able to get the offensive rebound, but that's been something that's hurt them a lot tonight. That's a 5-second call.
Keeping up step for step that time with Luke Dembo. Rarely do you see that. Couldn't shake him.
Here's that Lexington defense that we've been talking about as well. Stepping things up. Can they do it when it matters most here in the final 4 minutes? Only down 6. It's only a 2-possession game. It seems like more by the way Ashland's been playing, but Lexington just hanging around.
Depperschmidt to the corner. Forup, who just checked in. He shows off the soft touch.
That was a great shot by him from the elbow. Went to the peak of his jump. Followed through. Bucket.
16 points now for Baden Forup. Sturry almost got away there with a double dribble.
He was trying to go for that backdoor cut, but saw at the last second Lexington was there. And they still get the turnover.
Great hands by A.J. Young. initiated that thing. The Minutemen looking to continue their run here to trim this thing down to a single possession. Here he comes, spinning through the double team, down Main Street, missed it. Forup is there for the putback. It's just a 2-point game, folks.
And here's that run Lexington needed. They needed a couple buckets. They needed a couple stops. They've gotten it. It's a one-possession game with under 3 left, Ski.
Sturry on the attack. Hadn't done much offensively of late. Now he's up to 29.
What a way to start off the OCC season here.
Great game here. Another one going down in Mansfield tonight with them and the defending champions. Worcester and one on the way. Baden Forup showing the strength that time. Good pass to get it to him from Hudson Moore. Even better finish and a patient finish that time by number 32.
You were talking about that game at Mansfield Senior, the TY Tigers with a 7-point lead with 3:48 remaining in the contest.
Could be maybe the most pivotal weekend that we have in the conference, and it's coming to start things off in the OCC. That shot short, though.
The free throw woes continue for the Minutemen. It might be costly. Down 2 with 2:30 left. What a steal.
The pocket is picked. Eichler flies in, rolls it home. We're all square. 2:22 to go. Get ready, buckle up for this finish, folks.
Eichler with our player spotlight, thanks to those steals, gets a big one. And the Minutemen are going to have an inbound underneath the Ashland bucket with a chance to take their first lead, I believe, right? It's at least since the beginning of the game.
Fantastic acceleration to break it up, and that's just Caden Eichler wanting it, getting after it defensively, having the ability to have those long arms, quick hands against an incredible ball handler. So much fun. We'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section on Facebook. Who do you think is going to get it here down the stretch? 66-66. So much on the line here tonight. I know it's the first game in the league, but if you're going to be a true contender, coming out at 0-1 is tough, and especially against another team that feels like they're going to be in the mix at the end.
Well, this is a bit bigger game for Lexington just because of last year, 4 wins. Knowing they have everybody back, what can we do this year? And if they can get a win against the OCC favorite early on, that's going to be huge momentum-wise for them going into the rest of the season. Now, if Ashland can pull off the win here, hey, that's great for them. The favorites able to strive off a team that's looking like the up-and-comer of the league. It's crazy to say that about Lexington, but after last year, an up-and-coming team, great early season test to come out of that with a victory. That'll help them out as well.
Minutemen, of course, 0-2 against Ashland last year, 57-42, 65-52. They lost those 2 contests. Battling back here on the road. Up and down is called. I think that's a terrible call. Clearly, you're going to see it totally came out of his hands.
And got deflected. If it comes out of his hands and he catches it and comes down, that's why the refs are talking, but if it's deflected, then he's allowed. Now they're going to call a jump ball to make up for it. Nonetheless, Ashland still gets possession. But take a look at the replay. The deflection right there, that cancels everything out.
At least it should have.
And they call the jump ball due to the inadvertent whistle. So Ashland still escapes after that call. They'll have a chance to take the lead.
Dembo to the corner. McFrederick left all alone. Takes the space and capitalizes. Wow.
Back and forth we continue to go.
Welcome to double figures scoring Landon McFrederick, the latest member with 10.
And he's hit 2 huge threes for Ashland.
Off of 1 foot, kind of looking like Dirk there, going the opposite way. Eichler coming up with a clutch bucket of his own.
Something we haven't seen much from Ashland, slowing it down, but with a 1-point lead coming up on a minute left, why not?
McFrederick spins it around. Now Sturry, the runner, in and out. Forup with the big board.
He hesitated just at the last second, and that might have thrown the ball off just enough to not drop through. Now Lexington with a chance to take the lead with a minute remaining.
Deborah Schmidt handling Dembo all over him, causing chaos. Bodies down on the floor. It ends up in the hands of the Arrows. I think they got a timeout called.
No.
Instead, no, jump ball. Bates, I thought, came away with it.
Coach Hess was calling for the last 5 seconds for a timeout. They get the jump ball instead, and because of that inadvertent whistle, it's going to stay now with Lexington.
Under a minute to play, crunch time here at Arrows Arena. Which team's going to start 1-0 in the league? Who will fall from the rank of the unbeatens tonight?
Man, I hope we get basketball like this all year round, all season long, Brian. This has been great. But we do still have a little football left.
That we do. Looking forward to tomorrow.
We'll talk about that later. We got a game to finish first.
Great hesitation. And the jumper. Good from A.J. Young.
Minutemen lead. Coach Hess going to call a timeout, or is he going to let them play this? He's standing there next to the ref.
Dembo calls for the screen. He gets the switch, and then right back on him is Eichler. Long two on the way. No good. Tipped out. Moore comes up with the basketball. He gets it to Eichler. 15 seconds, and the foul here committed by Bates.
Now this is a problem for Ashland. They didn't have a lot of fouls coming into that. This is only, I believe, their 6th foul, so they still have one more to give. Lexington can still run a little clock off before even going to the 1-and-1. Also, that's going to be the 4th foul on Bates. Lexington has led for what, maybe 20 seconds of this game? But it doesn't matter about that, just that you're in the lead at the end. We'll see if they can hold on now.
Depperschmidt in a crowd. Going to be sent to the line. Pivotal 1-and-1. Even if he makes them both, Ashland with 12.7 ticks have a shot to come down and try to tie things up. But for Jack, first one, so crucial.
Especially to make this a 2-point lead.
Clutch.
And I see Coach Hamilton talking to the referee. Most likely, if this is a make, we're going to get a timeout to allow him to set his defense up, because Ashland, they burned them a few times here.
Lex still has 3 timeouts remaining. Arrows have 2. And that one spins in.
And there's the timeout. Biggest lead of the night for the Minutemen comes at the perfect time. But Ashland, they can shoot the 3. So this is far from over.
Minutemen entered the 4th quarter trailing 56-49. They have played some impressive hoops here down the stretch, and this is where checks are cashed in, Travis. We call it money time for a reason here on the OH Report, because who's going to show up when it's all on the line and is going to rake in those pots? The Minutemen, they've showed a lot of toughness and guts being in a hostile environment here on the road. Things weren't going well for them in that 3rd quarter until the end. They got it together towards the last couple of minutes there. They cut it to a 7-point contest entering the 4th quarter, and they have really come alive. And defensively, they figured some things out, just really try to take the ball out of the hands of Dembo and Sturry. They've made it tough on them, and they haven't killed them like they did through the first 3.
Absolutely, and they've been able to answer. 2nd quarter came out slow for them. Ashland got the double-digit lead. They fought back to make it a 6-point game. Come into the 3rd quarter, same thing happened for them. They're down double digits, but they've been able to claw their way back, and now they have a 3-point lead. 14.2 seconds left, and 1 defensive stop away from pulling out a huge victory for this team.
Sturry has rained down 6 3-pointers tonight. You imagine that's the kid they're going to be looking for. Dembo handling as we're down to 10. Reach-in foul by Hudson Moore on the perimeter. It's going to lead to some free throws. Probably part of the game plan there for Coach Hamilton and his staff. Just if they're not in the shooting motion, go ahead, put them on the line. They can't tie the game that way.
And with the height advantage that Lexington has, at least on our close side here with Forup, there's going to be a battle on the other side between Djurdjevic and Hudson Moore, but
got to make the free throws first. You anticipate that the senior captain's going to do that.
Now, does Ashland try and go for this miss, or they try to extend this out?
I definitely think there's enough time here with 8 seconds. Go ahead, try to drill this thing, but don't let very much time come off the clock. You can gamble at first, but you cannot let even more than 2 seconds, in my opinion.
Go for the steal, and if not, foul. Exact. I completely agree there. And another timeout.
Can Coach Hamilton and his bunch still one on the road? It wasn't looking great for them. The winner tonight going to keep pace with Mansfield Senior, who just clipped Worcester 59-48. The Generals, who were the outright OCC champs last year, falling to 0-1 on their season. So much hype around the Tigers this year. Congratulations for them for coming out with a victory, and equally as much hype for the purple and gold. And then the Arrows felt like they were probably going to be the 2 front runners heading into the season. It certainly played out that way. It's been a fantastic contest. Love what we've seen, the adjustments from both of these great head coaches, 2 of the best that we have in North Central Ohio, and it all comes down to maybe a free throw game ending as it should. Could even be in line for overtime. I just feel like this one, it's got a little bit of energy still left in it, Travis.
Well, if the score holds, Mansfield Senior and Ashland on top at 1-0, and the 2 other teams with Ashland and Worcester, who you and I thought, said on the podcast, Ashland and Worcester probably going to be those 2 fighting for an OCC championship, but to see both of them go 0-1 to start the year in front of, sit behind Ashland and Mansfield Senior, that's just going to open this conference up even more, and it's going to make this a great conference season to look after. But hey, we still got 8.4 seconds left.
They'll have Hudson Moore trigger. He can run the baseline. And before the ball comes into play, there's a foul. So A.J. Young on his way to the free throw line.
No time off the clock. That works. It's against Stewry. His 3rd. So no harm, no foul there.
So I actually love the decision. That's why Coach Hess probably making the big bucks over here. No time off the clock, so 8.4. And even if both of these drop, of course, you have an opportunity to come down, tie the game.
Same situation, just a little bit less time on the clock. But like you said, the first one's the pivotal one.
5'10" junior with the weight on his back. Handles it.
He does the squats. I don't see Coach Hamilton calling a timeout if he makes it here. You're going to have to press Ashland into action. He misses
the second, tipped out, long rebound to Eichler. Huge play right there, and a tough break for the Arrows.
It went off the hand of Luke Denbo.
Also, I think the outstretched arm of Baden Thorpe, and sometimes when you have those Gumby limbs, they really come into play, knocking that thing back out to one of his buddies. And now Caden Eichler with 2 massive free throws, though.
It's one more, so that helps Ashland now. It's still a 1-1. But now if he makes 2, it pretty much ices it.
Oh, the senior too
strong.
Another
offensive rebound.
And Hudson Moore flying with the basketball. Stewry took it away, but they're not going to have enough time. That's going to end it, folks. Lexington stunning Ashland as they come up with a huge win on the road. Massive 4th quarter. They knock off the Arrows. Luke Dembo can't believe it. And the purple and gold on the road coming up huge when it mattered most. Here's the ends on the Frito-Lay replay. Wild final possession. McFrederick almost did have that off in time. Wouldn't have mattered. It was long anyways. And the Minutemen moving to 1-0 in the conference. They are 2-0 now on the season. Arrows suffering their first defeat of the year. Woo! Keep it here for the Janney postgame, which will include an interview with our player of the game. I think we got to go with Baden Thorpe, the 6'7" junior forward. Awesome in crunch time. We'll have an interview with him, final stats, wrap things up here from Arrows Arena. Keep it here. It'll return in just a moment.
Here we go now. Here we go now. we go now.
Instead of paying for some big-name spokesperson, Kasasa Checking gives that money back to you in cash rewards. In fact, you just bought me this cup of coffee. See how that works? Amazing! Free checking, cash rewards. Take back banking with Kasasa.
I got 2 feet on the ground, head flying in the clouds. It's just the little things, all of the little things. Hands up in the sky, it's all gonna be alright. It's just the little things, all of the little things. It's oh, 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 oh. Love the little things, love the little things.
Back with our Tritico Sign Company player of the game, Lexington stud center Baden Forbes joining me right now. 20 big points for you, and then that fourth quarter was magical, it felt like, for you guys. What was it like as a player out there? You're down pretty big for most of the night. You guys came up big when it mattered most.
It was crazy. There was just a lot of energy, and it just felt really good. I had a lot of fun doing it, you know?
And for you in particular in that fourth quarter, really felt like you were dominating the lane at both ends, had a big presence there. Did you feel like you had to step up your game and really contribute for your guys?
Oh, yeah, I felt like I needed to step up my defense. They were getting in the lane, shooting their floaters, and I felt like I needed to be there.
This is a key game in the OCC, even though it's just game one in the conference for you. Knocking off a team like Ashland, imagine it's got to propel you guys, have you feeling good heading into Saturday.
Yeah, it feels really good. I loved it, you know. It's the best feeling you can have beating a team like that. And they're really good, so.
They swept you last year, just 4 wins for you guys the season ago. Up and down year, of course, with all of the COVID restrictions and that. What are the expectations do you feel like for this team in the new year?
I mean, myself, and I know the coaches have the same high expectations. I think we all gotten a lot better, and we all worked really hard this offseason. And everything we do is just, I mean, we click now. I mean, last year we weren't together like we are now.
Yeah, amazing finish to tonight's game. Congratulations on a big victory. Love to give you an opportunity to shout out anybody that you would like to who's watching live and free.
Shout out my family, I guess, right there.
Oh, right here, literally live and free. Well, congratulations, man. Our Turtico Sign Company MVP, Baden Forup, 20 points, 7 rebounds, and a couple of big blocks. Go celebrate with your guys.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Throw it now up to Travis. He's got your final stats.
Thank you very much, Brian, and let us take a look at those final stats brought to you by Janney. 31 field goals by the Minutemen compared to 21 from Ashland, but the Arrows 12 threes on the night. They continue to throw it up from beyond the arc. However, the Minutemen really took advantage of the boards, Brian. 40 rebounds to 24. Fouls were even at 18. Turnovers were even at 12. Free throws, 20 of 25 for Ashland, only 7 of 16 from Lexington. However, the Minutemen, they battled on the boards. They battled back from double-digit deficits twice, and they're somehow, some way, able to get out of Arrow Arena with a 73-71 victory.
I don't think that we ever jumped into our keys to the game in our Janney pregame, but for me, for Lexington, in order to get the win, I said you got to utilize your big bodies. They were able to do that, Travis. You see the rebound differential, plus 16 on the night. That was huge. That was crucial. And in money time, when it mattered most, their big guys played out of their minds. Baden Forup getting up and down the floor. He had that one sequence where probably should have got called for a goaltend. Instead, it went down as a huge block. He sprints to the other end, gets the ball in transition for a huge bucket. It was a 4-point swing. A lot of momentum swung in favor of the purple and gold at that point. And boy, did they put on a show late defensively. They started to figure out a little bit that while the complementary pieces for Ashland, pretty good. I mean, nothing to sneeze at. But at the same time, the top two guys are so confident with the basketball. If you can just sit down right in front of them and make things tough, throw additional bodies into those passing lanes against them, it's going to work out. It's going to make it tough on them. And ultimately, Sturry, along with Dembo, just didn't make enough plays down the stretch.
Yes, Sturry ends with 28 points to lead all scorers. Luke Denbo, 21 points. McFrederick, he ended up with 10 points. A couple big threes there. It looked like allowed Ashland to, hold on, but no. It was the three players in double figures by the Minutemen. Forup with 20. Elijah Hudson with 13. Hudson Moore with 11. Then you had 8 added in by A.J. Young with some big free throws at the end. And the Minutemen coming out with the 73-71 victory. Quick turnaround for Lexington. Their next game is tomorrow against Clyde, at Clyde, and then Ashland, they get a break until they travel to Clyde to take on the Flyers.
Going to be really fun to see how things all start to shake out here in the OCC. Still at the very beginning, baby steps of this journey in the brand new season, and it's a huge win for Lexington on the road. What I like most about it, I snuck into the locker room and I caught their post-game celebration. It wasn't really much of one. I mean, just, hey, great fourth quarter, guys. That was some awesome stuff. I actually got a video on my phone I'll post on the OH Report. You guys can watch on social media. And then, they all clapped and then move on, getting dressed, getting ready to move on. So for Lexington, this wasn't a huge upset. It doesn't feel like to them like they were outmatched here tonight. You heard from Baden. They feel like they're in contention to be the best team in the OCC. They proved it here tonight. So congratulations to the Minutemen on doing it when it mattered most in the fourth quarter. That was a really, really great performance, outscoring the Arrows 24-15 after they outscored them in the middle frames 19-13 in 2019.
Yeah, the Minutemen, they're acting like that team that's been here before. Yes, last year they only won 4 games, but we've said earlier in the broadcast, the last 6-7 years, 13, 14, 21, 24 wins. This team knows how to win, and they know how to compete in the OCC. They had that one down year, and that was it. And they are back to playing Lexington Minutemen basketball, and they knock off a conference rival in a big way here in comeback fashion.
Tomorrow afternoon, tune in,
Can't
2:45. We're going to have live pregame video coverage of the state championship Division 6. Cary taking on Coldwater. Going to be an awesome environment at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton. Fully expect an awesome game like we just saw here tonight, tomorrow. And then we'll have live audio during the contest, and every time there's a big play, we're allowed to show you replays of the game. So make sure that you tune in, check out those Blue Devils, see if they can hoist their first state championship trophy since 1975. That's going to wrap up our coverage from Arrows Arena here tonight in Ashland. What a contest we had. Came down to the final seconds with Lexington able to escape with a 73-71 victory with 24 big fourth quarter points. Would love to thank our incredible staff for bringing you tonight's coverage. Nick Jacobs running our camera here tonight. Adam Thompson builds all of the fantastic graphics. Jory Hollenbeck responsible for all of our commercial productions. And our sponsors, couldn't do it without any of you. Mechanics Bank, Frito-Lay, Tridico Sign Company, Janney Montgomery Scott, and Sutton Bank. I'm Brian Skoronsky for Travis Berardi. Thanking you for watching tonight. Much more on the way tomorrow. We'll see you then. But for now, from Ashland, we are out of here.